crossroads of the world, in the heart of Times Square. Welcome to Agent Brew Executive Sessions. I'm your host, Eric Zollinger of Realty Co. Welcome to a podcast that percolates real estate insights, where we have a casual conversation with those that have walked the path before you, with our executives and industry leaders. Today, we have another partner of Realty Co.'s, of Douglas Elliman. We have Stephen Larkin, who is an EVP, the Chief Communications Officer. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you for having me today, Eric.
So I always start every episode with how I happen to have a relationship with the guest. And Stephen and I go way back. We go so far back. We go back to the Barbara Corcoran days of 660 Madison.
The 10th floor.
The 10th floor, that's right. So, but beyond that, real estate is all about relationships. And I always say that we only do real estate on the side because it's all about relationships. There's probably no one greater in this industry that I value more than Stephen Larkin. Just so everyone knows, we work together at Douglas Elliman as well. But when I branched out and I launched Zollinger and Associates, there was no one that I thought of first to run my PR and be my go-to person than Stephen Larkin. I mean, we are sitting with the best in the business, and more than that, an all-around good guy.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you for coming on. This is a first for Agent Brew Executive Sessions because we're focusing on the PR side. Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, tell us your elevator pitch.
For what I do?
For what you do and you.
Sure. So I run all internal and external communications for Douglas Elliman. That includes press relations, that includes internal corporate announcements, that includes social media, that includes our electronic magazine, Elliman Insider, and that includes crisis, that includes investor relations, that includes just agent relationships, Right. And I would say at the end of the day, what we do is we work to retain and to recruit agents every single day. That's what I tell my team. We are here as a service partner to our agents, who are service providers also. And when they're happy, we're happy. So everything that we do, whether it's getting them quoted in the Wall Street Journal or promoting one of their properties, on Instagram, or really amplifying messaging around something really incredible that they've done or achieved in a record-breaking sale or a big listing that they've won, is all about making them feel really good and proud about being at Douglas Elliman.
Well, Douglas Elliman is a big company, and you've been around a long time. I mean, that's quite the job description.
Yeah, so I started 9 years ago at Elliman, and I think when I first started, the job was strictly media relations. That's pretty much what we did. I slowly started building a team. And then when different sort of iterations of marketing would come about, I sort of took that moment to sort of look at platforms for communication that they were running. Right. And thought about maybe ways in which PR could touch it better or stronger, and was able to bring those over to my team and build my team out in that way. Well,
there's been a lot of changes at Elliman over the last couple of years, but you've really righted the ship quite well. And I have to say, I was just at Elliman Endeavor in Las Vegas. What an incredible time, I have to say. I mean, the energy there and just the programming and everything was so elevated and spot on. And especially given the current events of the way that so many other companies have been now one conglomerate. What would you say is the biggest differentiator of Elliman today versus Elliman a year ago?
Well, we are a pure play luxury brokerage. We're not a tech company. We're not trying to be. We're not a company with a lot of ancillary businesses. It sort of does everything for everyone.
You've certainly recently kind of honed in and cut away some
Well,
other
I think
companies.
That's always been our play. I mean, Douglas Elliman was founded in 1911, 115 years ago, and has always catered to the upper high net worth, starting with co-ops up and around Fifth Avenue and Central Park West. And then obviously our ethos is to really follow the client, so we go where they go. So as New Yorkers started to sort of fan out to the Hamptons, down to Miami and Palm Beach, we followed them. As our clients started to move out west to California, we followed them there. Then a lot of our clients in Beverly Hills were buying homes in Aspen, so we follow them there. So we follow the client. We also follow where her vertical living is happening. So,
And you've been there through all those iterations.
yes. Well, not all of them. I've only started 9 years ago. The company's been I'm not that old.
I'm at the big growth. I mean,
Yes.
as far as since when Howard came on and Dottie, I remember that's when we were at Corcoran. But then when Dottie came on, it was Montauk to Manhattan.
Yep.
And
now we're Montauk to Manhattan Beach.
Oh, I love that. That's great. So what would you say is the biggest challenge facing your agents today?
Our agents today, I think, lack of inventory is the big one still. We're just everywhere I go. I was on Long Island yesterday. Like our agents are just dying for more inventory. But I think it's standing out from the crowd, and I think one thing that our company does really, really well is helping our agents compete and help them to win listings, drive sales, and build their own brands. So we're very proud of our brand, but we're very proud of our agents and their brands. They're married to each other. They live on top of each other. And I think it's a really powerful, platform for buyers and sellers. So that's why they're drawn to the company, because you have these incredible agents. You've got Eklund Gomes, you've got the Altman brothers, you've got Juliet Honan, you've got Dina Goldentear down in Miami, the Atlantic team out in the Hamptons, Erica Grossman, Enzo, all these like luminaries of the business under one roof. And sometimes they compete against each other. But they live under the Elliman banner. And I think that is a winning proposition, to have a really strong, independent, brand as an agent or team married to a luxury brokerage brand like Douglas Elliman that has weathered every economic storm, every market, every geopolitical, storm that's been out there. Douglas Elliman has been through it and survived and come out really very, very strong on the other side.
So let's focus on you.
Mm-hmm.
Why real estate and why PR?
Right. So I used to be on the other side of things. I was a journalist. I went to journalism school here in New York. I worked in television news for a tabloid TV show called Inside Edition, which is actually one of the most successful TV shows in television history. It's been on for, I think, 35 years right now. I started there as a booker, following, stories and trying to get victims of tragedies or families of tragedies or celebrities, to talk to us, which wasn't the easiest job because Inside Edition had like one of those reputations as being like a little bit too gossipy and salacious. And then I was promoted to field producer. So I was out in the field all the time, running down stories, interviewing people, getting the tape back to the studio. We crashed five live shows a week. Plus we packaged a weekend story for every Saturday. And I had to have everything done by 3:00 that day. So we moved at a very, very fast pace. And I loved it. And it was a lot of fun. Like I'm completely ADHD. So like
I think we all are.
Doing a million different things in one morning and early afternoon is like fun for me. And then a friend of mine, Scott Durkin, who was then chief operating officer at the Corcoran Group.
Also a previous guest on Agent Brew.
Yes, of course. He actually said to me that they were looking for a new head of PR at the Corcoran Group. And he thought that real estate, he and Barbara Corcoran thought that real estate was sort of ready for prime time, that real estate should have its moment, in television. So they really wanted somebody with a TV background to come in and help Corcoran kind of get there. So I, of course, was insulted because I thought publicists were, they prevented the truth from happening. They stood in the way. They, didn't give us access. They were constantly blocking us from getting interviews on red carpets. They wouldn't let us talk to their, celebrity clients, like that kind of thing. So anyhow, but after talking to Scott and after talking to Barbara and after talking to Pam, and I was like, this could be interesting, this could be really interesting. So I actually accepted the position. It was at a time also when newsrooms were consolidating. Right. They were getting smaller and smaller. I wanted to move on from tabloid TV to more serious TV. There really wasn't a lot of opportunity. So I said, let me try this. And I had no PR experience whatsoever. My only experience in PR was working with publicists, again, who I had real sort of contempt for. And so I started at Corcoran, and I really kind of looked at it as a newsroom, and my team as a news reporters and editors tracking down great stories, working with agents, working with developers, working with executives, finding out like what makes New York really tick, and real estate is really, every city has an industry. And I would say New York is real estate, 100% hands down. Maybe Wall Street, but I think more fun than that is definitely real estate. If you think about the people and the players and the stories and the scandals, there's like so much here. So I took the job, and I think I was successful there because I like real estate agents, first of all. And second of all, I like reporters and I respect their job. And I can talk to a reporter like reporters want to be talked to because I was
you understand.
I'm not going to waste their time pitching them a story that has no legs, a story that has no data behind it, or a story that has no real substance to it. It's, a lot of publicists I find will, have a client who says, I want you to write about my new Bic pen. And then they're calling reporters and wasting their time pitching, about a pen that has no real relevance whatsoever. So anyhow, I think I built really good relationships with the press, was able to sort of maintain that. And I, had a small team at Corcoran, but that was when we started to expand into the Hamptons and into Palm Beach. I got to know those markets. So became even more familiar with real estate on the national scene, especially in luxury, obviously with those luxury markets. And it was a great run. It was a really great run. But Scott Durkin brought me into the business.
Fantastic.
In 2021.
And then
2003.
2003. Yeah. And then that's how you ended up getting into Douglas Elliman, right?
So I actually, after Corcoran, had my own independent
that's how we
company for a while. That's when we worked together. You were a client of mine, my first client, favorite client, of course. Yeah.
By the way, because of Stephen, we were able to produce the first of its kind, like 2 to 3 minute neighborhood video series.
We were really
all
in
New York.
There. Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's still on my YouTube channel, but that's part of the brainchild of Stephen. What we were able to do together, I still marvel at, and it's like it was so much fun.
Yeah, our fun cameraman Duncan and producer who was fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
So I think real estate is not just about the square footage that you're buying. It's about lifestyle. It's about
the story behind it.
And so there's a lot when you're talking about real estate PR marketing. There's a lot to talk about than just the foyer and the bedroom count and the bathroom count.
So then, in your career, what is a win, and why are you proud of it?
A win for me is when me or someone from my team comes up with an idea for a story, finds the data to support their hypothesis, finds the agent who has expertise around it, and has listings to support it. And then like a newspaper like the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times runs the story.
Obviously, you've had many in your career. Any particular one that stands out that?
Oh, there have been a lot. Probably one of the biggest stories I ever worked on was at the Chelsea Annex with Frederick Uckland. He was the sales director there. And this is before either one of us were at Elliman, but they had private parking there for sale. And that was sort of a new thing back in 2006, probably.
That's when you were working with Core. That's right.
Right. They were a client of mine also, actually. We pitched. I think the cost for the parking lot there was $100,000, which actually feels cheap in today's market. But it made international headlines. I can't even begin to keep up with the amount of coverage that we got. Television spots, Today's Show, Good Morning America. The New York Times broke the story for us. They did the first story. I remember actually the broker from Elliman who brought the buyer to this penthouse, who was also buying this parking space, had a young child. And she asked me to babysit the kid because we couldn't all go up in the hoist to the penthouse. And she's actually still an Elliman agent, and her son is now out of college. Yeah. But that was one of the biggest stories. We've done everything. We handled the sale of the Brady Bunch house in California. That went viral. We've had a lot of viral sensations. The Golden Girls house, which actually took place in Florida, but in fact the house was in Brentwood, California. We sold that. We sold the Freddy Krueger house from Nightmare on Elm Street. Wow. So we've had a lot of fun hits. I've also, one of the other stories that I'm really proud of is a really great agent I used to work with. She's now at Compass, Nicole Adams, was born and bred in Brooklyn, in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. And she was a successful real estate agent there who was really conflicted about helping to support gentrification and rising prices in a neighborhood that she grew up in, and seeing friends and family members no longer be able to afford it. And so she actually wrote a one-woman show called Black Girl, You've Been Gentrified. And we got the New York Times to write about that. It helped with our ticket sales. She ended up producing the show at the Cherry Lane Theater.
Wow.
So that was really, really a fun thing that we did. So it's interesting because agents...
Well, you always think outside of the box, because when I had my own firm, I remember us doing these events, philanthropy, and just bringing in people. There was one that we did at 1509 at the Caledonia.
For a friend of my godson was adopted from Ecuador, and the orphanage that my friends adopted him from came to New York to fundraise for the orphanage, and we hosted it at your listing. Yeah, I mean, listen, we have. At Elliman, I've built this whole team. I mean, it's really incredible actually what we've done at Elliman, where PR really has a seat at the table. It's not an afterthought. We're actually helping to inform decisions that the company makes.
Well, Elliman Cares, which I, as a partner of Douglas Elliman, Realty Co. is a partner with your firm, which I love that we're able to support your agents from Montauk to Manhattan Beach. I was able to participate in the Ride for Love, which was so well organized. And how long have you done that now?
So we're about to kick off the 14th year.
Wow.
Yeah. So God's Love We Deliver is an incredible organization. They provide meals for their clients who are too sick to shop or cook for themselves. So every single day.
My friend Robert has used them for years.
They get food, freshly made food down in Soho, delivered to their doorstep. There's I think 13 or 14,000 meals a day delivered. When it's your birthday, you get a personalized birthday cake.
You get a Thanksgiving meal, and it's really
and it was born out of the AIDS crisis. It's now anybody with any sort of life-threatening illness, and their families too, who support them. And Douglas Elliman has been a long-time partner of God's Love We Deliver through a number of agents who are Greg Williamson, Diane Johnson, Ann Cutbill, Cindy Racklin, who've served Julia Pinkwater out in the Hamptons, who've either been a board member or currently board members. It's just such an incredible organization, and food insecurity obviously is a huge problem in the United States. So food in the home, kitchen is the heart of the home. It just sort of made sense for us to really continue this. And about 14 years ago, one of our managers, Max Dobbins, decided to ride his bike from New York to one of Elliman's big sales conferences out in Jersey, Atlantic City. And he did it to raise money and awareness for God's Love. And it just grew from that to where now we have hundreds of riders from Elliman and their friends riding to raise money. And we've raised $1.4 million in total so far for God's Love We Deliver. It's a really proud day for us every year. And we've built that out to expand it to other parts of the country. So it's part of now our National Day of Giving Back. Elliman Gives Back. So we have activations throughout the country. We have agents in Texas building, homes for veterans. We have agents in Aspen building homes for Habitat for Humanity. We have people volunteering in animal shelters, food kitchens. In Los Angeles, it's Project Angel Food, which is actually a sister organization of God's Love. So, I think it's important whenever you're successful or a leader in a community, and a lot of our agents are leaders in their community in many different ways. It's important to give back and to show, gratitude for your success and to really help other people. Yes.
What a great segue to play the gratitude game.
Okay.
Which is Rose, Rose, Thorn, Bud. But because we are Agent Brew, we do it with just a little twist of coffee.
Okay.
So it is the aroma, then the brew, and then the grounds, and then the fresh beans. So the aroma. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What motivates you?
My head.
Okay.
Because I wake up early, and if I just lay there, I start to overthink things.
Okay.
So I get up. I don't dawdle. I get up. I try to have some coffee. Then my dog wakes up, and he wants to go for his walk.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the other way around. But I try to take him out first, actually, before I even look at my phone, for a half hour. We walk around the neighborhood. I might run a few errands like dry cleaning and stuff like that. come back to the apartment, feed him, have my coffee. But that is really the reason. Like if I try to stay in bed, and even on weekends, I can't even sleep in on weekends. I start to overthink things. So I like to get up and sort of get into action right away.
So then that brew, that first cup of coffee, is what sustains you and keeps you going. One might say it's what is your why?
Well, I like to help people. I really like to help people. And
I just have to say, from sea to shining sea, anybody that's ever known you, you are the most loved person, I think, in all of real estate, no matter what firm. People just adore you, and you have always been able to rise above. And even people that are the most despicable in the industry love you. You just, that's something that you've always had this light.
I'm sure there's a few people who don't like me, but that's okay. What people think of me is none of my business. I love that expression.
I love that quote.
And I like to help people, and I'm helping real estate agents, help their clients, find their dream homes, sell their homes, build equity, find financial freedom. I enjoy it. I also I'm competitive by nature. I like getting lots of press for our company. Where no other company gets more press for their agents than we do.
So the flip of that, the grounds. Anything frustrating you right now?
Anything frustrating me right now? Well, state of the world, okay, but I won't get into that here. What frustrates me is there's so many new platforms, new technologies coming. It's really hard to stay on top of what a PR team should be focused on for communications. I get 10 calls a day or emails from vendors, who've got the latest tech for communications, the latest, means of like internal communications, external communications, news monitoring services. It's like, it's unbelievable, which is exciting in one hand, but it can be a little overwhelming and frustrating. Also, everybody has an opinion, everybody has an opinion.
Really?
And they love to express it.
I don't know what that means.
There's so much information out there. Right. We all have access to it. So, and a lot of our agents are actually good publicists too. They're out there promoting themselves every single day. So
then what are you, we're so early on in 2026, the fresh beans, what are you looking forward to? Is there something that Elliman is about to do or announce, or what would you like to just highlight?
We're working on a whole rebrand of the company, which is really exciting. We
with
announced
Watson,
that,
right?
With Watson. We announced a expansion globally, and last June, and we're already all over the south of France, St. Bart's. We have a couple of other global destinations that we'll be announcing hopefully soon, which is also really exciting. And then we've had a lot of agents calling who want to come back.
Oh, interesting.
And that is really the most exciting part for me, because sometimes you have to leave, go somewhere else.
Understand what you have.
The grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
And they always say what they miss most is the people. And
events that Elliman, in my mind, just from having worked at Elliman twice in Texas and New York, and really being a part of the company from the outside looking in, but also being on the inside. It's really exciting what you guys are doing today.
It is exciting, and I think what we're doing is we're focused, but we've never lost sight of what's the most important thing, and that is the people, whether it's staff or agents or the clients and customers. So,
and for the first time, you guys are investing in the company. I long said when I was, truth be told, I'm very transparent. When I was with the company, I always said, well, it's kind of like the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. Just a brand new paint job on the outside, but you open up the door and it's still the shed carpeting on the inside. To see what you guys have done from what I saw at Endeavor, all the new technology is really fascinating, because that's something that I thought several owners in succession just never invested in the bones or the interior of the company. You guys have really taken a look.
I think, listen, we believe in technology. We understand the importance of technology to allow agents and staff to work faster so that they can spend more time, getting more business, but But at the end of the day, like it's the people that you walk by every day, who help you every day, who say hello to you every morning, like in the reception area, and the people that really help move forward and move the needle for the agents. So, and technology is an important part of that, but it's not the end all be all. And we don't think it is.
Technology always changes.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to see. And plus, the end party was out of this world with the saxophonist and the bongos.
Listen, Elliman, we like to have fun, and we know how to have fun. And we have an incredible events team that somehow is able to just knock it out of the park like every single year with something bigger and better. And we have a couple of great events lined up. We're going to be taking about 100 agents to Aspen in a few weeks. It's called Elliman on the Slopes, but the third or fourth year that we've done that. A great time to kind of connect and ski and have fun and eat good food and see beautiful properties. And ultimately what the design of these events is to bring agents together so that they can build referral networks and send business back and forth across the country.
That is something Elliman has always been so strong at, is the people from the other markets coming together. Yeah. So we've reached the favorite part of the show of mine, which is you get the same question everybody gets. If you could give your young PR person yourself a piece of advice, not somebody today, but you yourself, what would it be?
Through the lens of PR?
Just you yourself as a young person.
Oh gosh.
With the wisdom of through the lenses of today.
I guess I would tell somebody to be teachable. Mm-hmm. Always
this is
be
for
teachable.
Yourself.
Yeah. Always be teachable. Always just, listen to other people, listen to their perspectives, listen to their opinions. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but be open to learning something new. No matter how experienced, and young people, when I was young, I thought I knew everything. And I think young people especially should take that advice, like really be teachable, because you can learn. And even as an older person now in the business, I learned so much from the younger people on my team. I call them my youth consultants. So I'm always asking them well, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about these shoes that I bought? Or what do you think about Reddit? Reddit is a really great platform that I want to explore more. It used to be kind of the cesspool of social media, but it's really become this interesting place where people go to learn.
And Substack.
And Substack also, right? So how can Elliman have a voice there? Yes, we're on TikTok. Yes, we're on Instagram. Yes, we're on, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. But where's next? So that would be my advice to anybody, is to really be teachable.
Any particular favorite quotes? I mean, you mentioned one earlier. Mm-hmm. What you think of me is none of my business.
Yeah, I have a really good one.
All right, share it.
Does it need to be said right now, and does it need to be said by me? And if I can't answer yes in every single of those instances, I keep my mouth shut.
I'm putting my phone away because honestly, I was about to give a Zig Ziglar one, but this is so paramount for just everything in life. Mm-hmm. Do you know or recall whose quote that is?
No, I don't know who gave it.
Well, before we post it, we'll look it up. And,
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Agent Brew Executive Sessions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hopefully you'll come back in future seasons.
I would love to. Thank you for having me.
And certainly have, we've enjoyed many an Elliman agent and executive here on Agent Brew. Please keep sending them.
I will. I have some ideas for you.
Awesome. I can't wait.
I do. Congratulations on the podcast.
Well, thank you. It's so much fun. And to our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in each week. Remember, every Tuesday we launch another episode of Agent Brew or Agent Brew Executive Sessions. I'm your host, Eric Zollinger, reminding you it's a great day for real estate. That's a wrap.